Good evening. Welcome back. It is Friday, June 9th, 2023. We have a few birthdays and only one event. We're in kind of another desert of events here where we're getting this summer stretch. We're back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s of the Cup Series and even into the 90s before we had 36, races plus the two exhibitions. You have a couple weeks in the summer where you might not have a race, sometimes in June, sometimes in July. And so we're starting to get to that point to where we're getting to some gaps in the old calendar, and some of the newer stuff really doesn't have anything memorable. The only thing racing wise that looking up that really stuck out was the 1991 Banquet Frozen Foods 300 at Sears Point that Davey Allison won. If you go back and watch that, a bit of a controversial finish there. Ricky Rudd was actually the first driver to cross the line, but he was given the black flag and not the checkered flag. So very controversial finish. You'll just have to go back and it's all over YouTube. Go back and watch that and tell me what you think. Was it a racing accident? Was the spin intentional? You guys will just have to go back and see and tell me what you think. So anyway, a few birthdays. Born on this date in 1939, former sports car and Trans Am standout driver and later worked with Ned Jarrett and Ken Squire in the CBS booth for many years, Mr. David Hobbs. He did make one Cup start. I believe it was the 76 Daytona 500, and I want to say he was a teammate to Benny Parsons. Born on this date in 1962, former driver in the Truck Series, but a short track ace, Billy Bigley Jr. I know he's in a couple of sets, but I don't have any of his cards readily available, as I think they're actually in the sets that are kind of packed away off to the side. Excuse me. Born on this date, 1955. Currently he works with SRX, but he was the mastermind at Sports Image and created all the licensing and all the products for Mr. Dale Earnhardt. Happy birthday to Mr. Don Hawk. If he was working with Sports Image, did a lot of things there. Really got the marketing machine going on there in the mid and early 90s. A lot of collectibles that you see today, he probably helped, throw down that initial, idea and all that sort of stuff to get a lot of those collectibles, the die casts, the hats, the shirts, the everything that you can imagine. So anyway, we have one more birthday. Oh, excuse me. Born on this date in 1999, current Truck Series champion, Mr. Zane Smith. And I got quite a few cards here, but we're going to just kind of rapid fire through these. I've not really watched a lot of his career, but a few people think that this guy is the next big star. Think he's doing great with Front Row, considering, Front Row is not a top-tier team by any stretch of the imagination, Cup or Trucks. And the fact that he won the title with them, he wins races, he's regularly up front, except at St. Louis where he struggled. Seems like a pretty likable driver. I don't hear much bad said about him on social media. Sometimes, obviously, some of the drivers as they come up, like Ty Gibbs and Ross Chastain and others, have gotten a bad rap, Noah Gragson, for either being too aggressive or too cocky or too something. And even, over the years you have drivers like Jimmy Johnson, who they said is too vanilla. And I think Zane he's just kind of that chameleon driver. He just kind of fits right in happily in between both of those categories. He really doesn't set off a lot of bells, in my opinion. But he's just a solid driver. He does good. And as you can see, I got quite a few Zane Smith cards going on here. So some of them, obviously, like these, I need to get sleeved and top-loaded. Just haven't had a chance to do that yet, but that's another project. So we get to the end of the line here. See, he's raced with GMS Racing as well as currently with Front Row. I think there's a lot of upside to him. If Front Row, I really hope they don't take McDowell out of the 34 and Gilliland. I don't know what you guys think, but I feel this year I feel this year Todd Gilliland has made some big strides in the 38 car. I think he of the three rookies from last year, Cindric, Burton, and Gilliland, he has made the biggest strides. So hopefully he stays in that car. I mean, personally, I'd like to see Zane stay in the Truck Series, and maybe who knows if Josh Berry goes to the 4 car, maybe maybe Smith moves into the 8 Xfinity car next year. That might be a good ride for him. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoy our events and birthdays. As always, we're almost halfway through the year, and this is just something I started out doing, and it's been a lot of fun. I've been able to look back on a lot of events, look back at a lot of cards that I forgot that I had, so on and so forth. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and we will be back tomorrow, obviously with a rip and with the events and birthdays. So enjoy the rest of your Friday, and we'll see you tomorrow.